Today we will be looking at distribution of profits in capital ratio. In a partnership firm, the profits and losses are shared by the partners in their agreed profit sharing ratio. And if profit sharing ratio is not mentioned, then the profit sharing ratio is considered to be equal and the profits and losses are distributed equally. But sometimes in some questions, it is given that the profits and losses will be distributed in their capital ratio. Now, how do we calculate that? Generally, the weighted average method is followed to find out the capital ratio. Let us look at one illustration. A and B entered into partnership on 1st April 1988, contributing rupees 20,000 and rupees 15,000 as capital. A invested rupees 10,000 as additional capital on 1st July 1988, whereas B brought additional capital of rupees 5,000 on 1st January 1989. They earned a profit of rupees 10,500 during the year. Profits are to be shared in their capital ratio. Calculate their share of profits and pass necessary journal entry. Now, if you look at the question, the accounting year is starting from 1st April 1988 and it is ending on 31st March 1989. A and B, they are starting the business with capitals of 20,000 and 15,000 respectively. Then A again invests rupees 10,000 on 1st of July and B brings additional capital of rupees 5,000 on 1st of January. Now, in this case, the capitals are changing. So, how do we calculate the capital ratio of the partners? What we will do is, we will find out the A's contribution for 1 month. This is also known as effective capital employed by A. Now, he had 12,000 rupees for 12 months. So, 20,000 into, not 12,000, 20,000. So, 20,000 rupees into 12, that comes to 2,40,000. And he puts in 10,000 rupees for 9 months. So, 10,000 into 9, that is 90,000. The sum of them are 3,30,000. So, A's effective capital employed will be 3,30,000. Similarly, if you look at effective capital employed by B, 15,000 rupees he had employed for 12 months. So, 15,000 into 12, 1,80,000. And 5,000 rupees he invested on 1st of January. So, from 1st of January till 31st of March, 3 months. So, 5,000 into 3, that is 15,000. So, the total is 1,95,000. So, the ratio of their capital employed are 3,30,000 is to 1,95,000. That is 66 is to 39. And therefore, the amount of profit, that is 10,500, will be distributed as follows. A's share of profits will be 66 divided by 105. 105 is the sum of 66 and 39 into 10,500. That is 6,600. That is A's share of profits. And B's share of profits is 39 by 105 into 10,500. That is 3,900. Now, the journal entry that will be passed for distributing the profits between A and B is profit and loss appropriation account debit 10,500, to A's capital account 6,600 and to B's capital account 3,900. Now, let us look at another question. X starts a business on 1st April 1987 with rupees 5,000. Y joins on 1st August 1987 with rupees 10,000. On 1st October 1987, Z comes in as a partner with rupees 15,000. And on the same date, X contributes rupees 5,000 and Y rupees 10,000 as further capital. the profit for the year ended 31st March 1988 amounted to rupees 16,000. The partners agree to divide the profits in proportion to their capitals. Show the distribution of profits. So in this case, we will calculate the effective capital employed of X, Y and Z. Now if you take effective capital employed of X, he started the business on 1st April with rupees 5,000 and he put in another 5,000 on 1st October 1987. So effective capital employed of X is 5,000 into 12 because 5,000 rupees he had employed for a period of 12 months, that is 60,000, and 5,000 rupees he put in as additional capital on 1st of October. So 1st of October to 31st of March, that is 6 months. So 5,000 into 6, 30,000. So total is 60 plus 30, 90,000. Now if you look at Y's effective capital, now Y started the business he joins the business on 1st of August 1987 with 10,000 and he puts in rupees 10,000 as further capital on 1st of October. That means 10,000 rupees he employed from 1st of August till 31st of March, that is 8 months. So 10,000 into 8, and 10,000 rupees again he further puts it on 1st of October. So from 1st of October to 31st of March, that is another 6 months. So 10,000 into 6. So the total comes to 80,000 plus 60,000, 1,40,000. That is the effective capital employed by Y. Now let's come to Z's effective capital. Z joined the partnership business on the same date, that is 1st of October. So he joins with a capital of 15,000. So Z's capital employed will be 15,000 for a period of 6 months. So 15,000 into 6, that is 90,000. So the ratio of their effective capital employed are 90,000, 1,40,000 is to 90,000. So if we find out the ratios, it comes to 9 is to 14 is to 9. So X's share of profits will be 9 by 32. 32 is the sum of 9, 14 and 9. So 9 by 32 into 16,000, which is the divisible profit, that is 4,500. Y's share of profit will be 14 by 32 into 16,000, that is 7,000. And Z's share of profits will be 9 by 32 into 16,000, that is 4,500. So the total profit 16,000 will be divided between X, Y and Z. 4,500 X is going to get, 7,000 Y is going to get, and Z is going to get 4,500. This is the manner in which the capital ratio of the partners is found out. Now let us look at another question pertaining to calculation of capital ratio. A and B started business on 1st April 2019 with capitals of rupees 80,000 and 40,000 respectively. You are required to calculate capital ratio from the following details. So here details are given: capital introduced, this part, and capital withdrawn. On 1st July, B introduced 10,000 and A withdrew 20,000. On 1st October, A introduced 20,000 and B withdrew 10,000. On 1st December, B introduced 12,000 and nothing was done by A. On 1st January 2020, again B introduced 16,000 and A withdrew 4,000. On 1st February, A introduced 6,000 and B took out 3,000. So this is the question, and both of them started the business on 1st April with capitals of 80,000 and 40,000 respectively. Now this particular data, I have written it in the order of the dates. Like 1st April, then next transaction is taking place on 1st July, next transaction 1st of October, next is on 1st of January, and next is on 1st of February. This is for A. So A starts the business with 80,000 on 1st of April. Then on 1st of July he takes out 20,000, so his capital becomes 60,000. On 1st October he brings another 20,000. Here you can see. So his capital becomes 80,000. On 1st January he takes out 4,000 rupees over here. So his capital becomes 76,000. And on 1st February he puts in additional 6,000. So his capital becomes 82,000. The accounting year is ending on 31st March 2020. So his capital ratio is 80,000 for 3 months, that is from 1st April to 1st July. So 80,000 into 3. Then 60,000 again for 3 months, from 1st July to 1st October. So 60,000 into 3. Then 80,000 again for 3 months, from 1st October to 1st January. So 80,000 into 3. Then 76,000 for 1 month, January to 1st January to 1st February. So 76,000 into 1. And then 82,000 for 2 months, from 1st February to the last day of the accounting year, 31st March. So 82,000 into 2. If you add up all of them, it comes to rupees 9 lakh. Similarly, if we look at B's capital introduced. By B was 40,000 on 1st of April. On 1st July, again he puts in 10,000 rupees. So his capital becomes 50,000. On 1st October, he takes out 10,000. See, 1st October he has taken out 10,000. So his capital becomes 40,000. On 1st December, he brings in 12,000. So his capital becomes 52,000. On 1st January, again he brings 16,000. So his capital becomes 68,000. And on 1st February, he takes out 3,000. So his capital becomes 65,000. So for B, the capital employed will be 40,000 for 3 months, from 1st April to 1st July. So 40,000 into 3. 50,000 for again 3 months, from 1st July to 1st October. So 50,000 into 3. Then 40,000 for 2 months, that is from 1st October to 1st of December. So 40,000 into 2. Then 52,000 for 1 month, from 1st December to 1st January. So 52,000 into 1. Then 68,000 for another 1 month, from 1st January to 1st February. So 68,000 into 1. Then 65,000 for 2 months, that is from 1st of February to 31st of March. So 62,000 into 2. If you add up all of them, it comes to 6 lakh. So the capital employed by A is 9 lakh and the capital employed by B is 6 lakh. So if we find out the capital ratio, you will see that the capital ratio of A and B is 9 lakh is to 6 lakh. If we divide them in the lowest terms, the capital ratio comes to 3:2. So the profits will be divided in the ratio of 3:2. If it is given in the question that the profits are to be distributed in their capital ratio. Otherwise, the profit sharing ratio, whatever is given in the question, that will be followed. And if nothing is mentioned in the question, then profit sharing ratio will be equal no matter what the capitals of the partners are. But if it is given that the profits will be divided in the capital ratio, we will follow this particular concept of finding out capital employed by each partner by the weighted average method. Now, in the case of fixed capital, it is not a big problem. But in these cases where you have fluctuating capitals, the capitals employed by each partner are to be found out by the weighted average method. And by the weighted average method, whatever capital employed are there, we have to find out the ratio, and in that ratio, the profits are to be distributed among the partners.